Welcome to Art and Soul Insider. I'm Barbara Lynn Burns, and I am here to help you find your joy, your creativity, and calm through art and wellness. Whether it's exploring new supplies, guided meditations, or inspiring art projects, this is your space to recharge and create. So let's make more art and less stress together. Here we go. So welcome to part 2 of the Mixed Media Quad. And I'm just really excited about me using some materials that I haven't used, as well as haven't used some materials for a long time with this project. And also, I'm really liking, which you will see, at the end, I use pencil crayons on top of my watercolors. And why would I do that? Well, I do that to enrich some colors, to bring some colors out more, or to bring out completely different colors in certain areas. And you'll see how it changes the work. It's subtle in some areas, but in other ways, it's like night and day. So that's what you have to look forward to with this one coming up, as well as I bring in some printmaking with the good old bubble wrap, my favorite. So hang on tight and watch the transformation or the continual transformation of the Mixed Media Quads. Have a good one. We're just playing, right? We're just playing. So I'm going to wet my brush, okay, and I'm going to come up from the bottom because I have a bit of blue, and I'm going to mix the two together, like that. So it's still a light value. You see that gray tinge is really coming out, right? Really coming out, but that's the thing when we kind of had a gray base. Now, I've got a few spaces that I want to fill. Do I want that cobalt blue? I'm not sure if I want to maybe mix it with, let's try the cobalt blue with the cobalt violet. Let's try that. Oh, that's nice. That's different. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just fill in this space. There we go. Got that dark value coming. There. Let's do it here. Very light wash. And let's activate that blue, right? That line of that chunky blue that I had. Let's just bring it up. Let's see what it does. I didn't really wet the whole paper a whole lot, but it's enough. And let's do that here. Okay. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to dry this now, and I'm going to start adding texture. I darkened it so much, I don't think I'm going to need that much pencil crayon. Okay? I'm looking at it and going, But you know what I can do is intensify some of the colors. So I'm going to maybe bring out, this would be a good color. Okay, we got a purple here. Probably this kind of pink. It's kind of a hot pink, looks like. Don't think about the red. Let's see what the other will feed me. Come on. Okay. Well, we could use some pink. We could use this blue because it's very deep. Might not be the right one, but, you know, and here's a purple. I'm even thinking some of these. Even that. That might be too light. That's not really the right one, is it? Oops. Oh, I don't have my little booklet around. Oh, this could work. Okay, let's just bring them out and let our intuition fly, right? Doesn't hurt. So I'm going to put this over here. Make sure I don't get it in my paints. Maybe this blue even. Yeah. Want to make sure it is dry. Nope. I see a little. When you see a little bit of glossiness, do you see that? Little shine, that's wet. Now this might be, you got to watch this part, right? Because this is pure pigment. So watch out for that. What I want to do is put my pencil crayons down, and I'm going to take the clean water, have my finger, and I'm going to lift the color, okay, from the wax there. Some has a lot of it, some doesn't have hardly any. This one doesn't have hardly any. This one's got a fair bit. So you know, watch out for that, okay? You might have to go over a couple times because some of that will actually smear it, right? Smear the wax because you've got that color breaking through those holes that you have that were the wax paper. So this one looks like it's going to be a little more pink. That's okay. That works. Yeah, and you got to watch out for the lines. It went a little too wide there, so it's kind of got a white edge around it. So I'm going to take this purple and I'm going to just intensify the color here. Now again, it has some tooth on it, right? So it's not going to go 100% smooth for you. Now, if you want, you can get out a smudger, right, for your drawing that you have for your drawings. I may actually get one. One thing I can walk away from this experimentation is I liked the colors. The colors really spoke to me. So I learned some colors that are going to work. Now, what's nice about this, you know, with it not blending in, you just see it matches here. See how this got, you know, some splotches? Well, this has splotches because it's not blending smooth. So, you know, that's something to consider too, right? I'm adding color to add dimension and possibility, different, you know, to make a space look not so flat. Like here, I look at this space, it looks pretty flat to me. So I'm going to go in there and develop some. I love how this has been maintained. Remember when I thought, oh, it's going to lift or just smudge together? Well, it didn't. So that's kind of cool. So trying to get all my pencils all organized. Put them all, my blues together, all my purples together. So then I can, you know what I have and use it from there. So here is I grabbed a purple for some reason. What was I going to work on? I thought I was working on here. Okay, let's do the blue here. So I've got a darker blue here. It's a purpley blue, actually. So again, I'm going to go into the corners here. I kind of like to work it like that. This is really dark here, so I'm going to try and balance it out by having some darkness over here. And then let's just, oh, see how I got a little, I'm going to make this like it was supposed to. This is a little tiny kind of, well, it's not necessarily a blossom or cauliflower or broccoli. It's, looks like it's just, I put my paintbrush kind of over there, like that, and it kept it like that. So I'm just going to do this, bring that in like that, really make it more evident and like it was supposed to be. There, you see? So what I could do is bring some more organic shapes or lines. See how this is a very circular, very mathematical kind of thing here. But see these shapes, these are very organic. I kind of like that because I got it kind of like here. So I'm going to maybe bring that up a little bit. Oh yeah, because I've got some here too, right? It kind of, so I'm going to take a purple and I'm going to do kind of what I did there. I'm actually going to cover my watercolor, but I'm going to use it very much like the shapes that it formed itself. I'm just making kind of a thicker thing instead of all feathery, right? So this is where I can add some interestingness to this area. So let's go do the pink here. Just to intensify it a bit more. And then it's kind of coming down. And let's bring, it's kind of a lavender. Let's do that. Very matchy. Holy, can hardly even see what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is I've gone over it, but I'm going to add a deeper purple here. Really intensify it a bit more. So we've got that there and we've got that there. So let's just kind of bring it a bit higher because you don't want to end things all on the same level. You want to just expand it a bit more. Okay, I'm going to bring my smudger in there. Let's see what it does. It makes it a little bit more unified. I don't have as much of the bumpy bumps showing. So there. So that kind of works that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring it in here so we intensify that shape there. So there'll be a darker contrast there. I'm going to bring some of this light blue here and make it more visual. See how it's coming out here? There we go. There. So it kind of balances that. And let's kind of balance it down here. There we go. Just bring a little pop out a little bit more. So let's bring I'm going for the top. Okay. Gonna lighten it in here. So I'm kind of using really what's called is it scrumbling? Kind of. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Shock. So it's just little circular motions. That's what I called it, scrumbling. Now whether that's how what I told my students. So look at the difference. You see that? Oh my gosh, was I on camera? Sorry about that. Boy. Really pops out, right? So we need another section that's going to pop out. I like the aspect of the 3 blues that I'm doing there. I'm going to do that to all of them. So where would I add another blue? Now I could add a blue here, but we get rid of a white. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to go down here. Doesn't make sense to me in some ways because it's such a purpley, reddy purple sort of thing, but I'm just going to try it. Oh, it really deepens the values. You see that? Yeah. So I'm going to take this and do the blend. Try to blend it and make it show up a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Let's do the blue over here. Okay, I see a blue here that I want to intensify. Just really going to make it pop. I see a shape there. You see with that line? I'm going to accentuate that. So I'm going to just bring that blue in there like that. Oh, I like that blue adding in there. Yeah. Now, I'm going to add the blue here. Again, because it's a darker value, it's not going to show as a pop as much as here. But let's give it a try. It still will show because it's a lighter value. But the eye, because it's almost like pointillism, because you've got that purple behind it, it's still going to see that purple at a distance. But I like that, yeah. So I'm going to just add more. I just want build it up more in that corner and kind of fade out. But it's still I'm going to make this a strong line. I'm going to hide that actual black line there. I'm going to hide this black line as well, just by covering it over. I'm going to need to sharpen my pencil. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, and let's bring a third in here. I'm just going to bring it up from the bottom there because that was your lighter value. I'm just going to kind of do little veiny things kind of coming up. I'm going to smudge now, so it's not going to be as evident, but it will still work out. There we go. Now, this one. Okay, so I see a blue can come in here, and a blue we can work in this area right in here. So let's do this way first. I'm going to do, I see kind of a shape here that was kind of by the purple. And I'm just going to kind of continue it right across like that. That is a shape of the blue. And I'm just going to add a little of it in the corner here. There. And fade it into it. Not fade it, but I'm going to smudge. So I am going to bring some of that blue up. Here, I'm going to add it down here where the lightest part is. So I'm gonna take away that line again, where my blue's going. And I'm gonna come up to the actual circle. So a lot of times people, when they're working with watercolors, they're not thinking of using pencil crayon, but you can. So these two values are kind of, I don't know, they're not that great. Now, I'm going to come back to that, I think, with the pink. I'm going to add this blue line. Remember, I painted it on, but I'm going to draw it on. Let's try doing one like that. Little longer shape, filling it in as best I can. And let's do wanted that pink again. So I'm going to take this pink. Did the pink here. I'm going to intensify the pink in one of these. I'm going to do it in this one. So again, going into that shape. And really, you know, I covered a little bit of purple in there. I'm going to do actually the whole shape. Now, am I going to cover it all? No, because I'm going to see some of the color underneath, right? But there it is. Just a little brighter. Now, the thing is, if I want to go over with watercolors again, it'll be a really tricky situation because this is waxy. What makes these so great, these pencil crayons, so smooth in their blending, is, well, they've got wax. So if you take wax, right, what happens? It resists the paint, especially when the paint is more water, right? There we go. Just bringing some brightness to it, getting that lighter value. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to get rid of that line. And I'm just going to have it as a shape. Now you're going to maybe see a little bit of the black line there. There. I'm going to actually stop it there because I don't want it all the way. So I'm going to add a little bit of pink here, just really light, just to bump up that color. You see that? It's just kind of adding a little bit more there. Nice. And I'm going to add a little bit kind of in this section here where it's kind of going in and out of the colors. Okay, and I'm going to do little dots there. Good. So let's bring some pink over here. This is too much one value. And I need to sharpen. Well, let's try this pink. Let's try this pencil. I've been using the other ones. There we go. So we're going to see some of that color underneath, the purple. Interesting. Very interesting. These colors are very similar now that I'm looking at it. So I have to watch. I don't want it to dominate. So what I'm thinking now I'm going to do is just kind of soft circles, soft scumbling, kind of coming over into this area. And then just really lightening up my pressure. You see that? Really lightening up. There. So it's more of a gradation. Here I've got a little bit of blue on my... It's not going to hurt because we got some purple underneath there. So that's okay. There. Just kind of smearing things along. And then lightly bringing that in. There we go. Okay. I think that's enough for that one. We don't want too much. Now we've got a really heavy load here, so we have it quite dark. We actually have 3 values there. I kind of like that. Actually 4 values. Now I'm looking at it. Maybe let's leave that one. Let's bring... Do I want to get rid of that light blue? I don't want pink up here because we've got pink, pink. I'm going to add some pink here. It's kind of a pinky purple because of that violet in there, right? So let's just bring some up. Don't want to lose that violet. I kind of like that. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of the violet that's there. And I'm going to add some pink here. So darker, like more pressure, I mean. And then lightening it up all the way. So I'm still seeing that color, that purple underneath, but I'm wanting that pink to show up here on the bottom. There we go. Okay, did I add purple? Yes, I added a dark purple. What about... Okay, I actually think that's pretty good. Now, I'm going to try doing some printmaking with my sponge. So you need your water wet and your paint wet, but not too wet. It's really is a fine balance. So let's see if I can get that fine balance. No, I don't want that color. Maybe in this. No, let's bring a pink in there. Let's bring this magenta. So I'm going to paint it like this. The first ones usually don't take very well. I usually get a separate piece of paper and do it, but I'm just going to try here. Let's see what happens. There we go. Perfect. It's going to add some variation. Everything is much more smooth looking. The only kind of little extra you have is with that white showing, right? The white that I did with the wax crayons. We want something more to show up there. So we want something else there. So I'm just going to bring this in like that. It's not going to be a big alteration. You know, it's not going to really go, oh, there it is. It's just going to be there. You know, it's going to, you see it somewhat. Now, in order to see it a lot, it has to be a very contrasting color. I am using all the colors that we've used. Like, you know, nothing's different, right? Nothing's different. Everything is the same colors. So I'm going to just add some variation. We've got some variation here because remember I did that dry brushing there. And let's just kind of do a little like that. There we go. Doing really light pats here, so it's kind of a variation. I don't know. We need something there, but we're working on it. And let's try this one. Let's try the violet. Now, the violet might not work that great because I'm putting it right on top of my blue, right? So there might be some color mixing being done. But I'm wanting some variation here. Now, it might not work as well because of the pencil crayon. But we're just going to give it a try. There we go. Something's happening. But again, it's not, again, a big in your face sort of thing. And it is resisting somewhat, so that's okay. That's good. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, and this is going to be, you know what, before I do that, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take, I've got, one thing I forgot to introduce, and I apologize because I just realized it when I was picking it up, is the acrylic ink. So I'll be using that. You do not want to use your watercolor brushes for this. This is ink. I mean, this is ink. This is acrylic paint. It's watered down. Not, oh, sorry, that's wrong terms. I'm using wrong terms. It is an actual acrylic paint, but it has more water, not water, but more of a liquid. I don't know what they have. It has the strength of a watercolor, so it's really good. Like, it has the same quality. So it's not watered down in the way that most people think, right? I'm going to do that here. There. Do I have some over here? Let's see if I have any left. I love. I don't know what it is, but I love circles. You know, and you'll find that too. Not that you'll love circles, but that you will have certain shapes that will just really speak to you. Certain lines that you'll really like. You know, it's those type of things. That's what you'll find. The more you do art, the more you'll find, oh, I really like this. I really like that. And that's what it's all about. Here, I had to figure out where did I paint. You know, you'll find out that it's those type of things. You'll come to a realization that it's like, oh, I really love doing this. Or I really love, you know, this is kind of cool. Just leaving little ghost prints. You know, I love this. I love that. That's what it's all about. You'll love using certain materials. That is the whole idea of art, is you know, the whole idea of life, really. You find out what speaks to you, what makes your heart sing. And then that's the key. Then you go for it. You play with it. You do the things that you want to do. That is life. So, you know, you just keep doing and keep being and keep growing. It's okay. Those things are, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna, I don't want too much white, you see? Like, I've got white here. You know, I'm gonna go over that corner. Because I was gonna add more. I knew I needed more, but if I added too much, it's just like, yeah, it's too much. How do you know if what's too much? Well, you look at your work. You want to have combination of contrast and unity. See, that looks like really smudged because of that, and I'm good with that. That looks kind of cool. You want to get the balance between your colors, between you know, I've got this here and I've got that there. That's kind of a nice balance here, there. Well, I've got it kind of all in four corners, which is interesting, the whites. But they're not as strong, right? Everything's kind of subdued, so that kind of works. Here, and I'm going to do maybe a little bit in this corner for this one. Yeah, it's just really trial and error. And you grow and you learn and you see, okay, that was a little too much. And then you just kind of file that away. And next time you don't use as much. This corner's kind of blah to me. What can I do with this corner? I colored in it, didn't I? Let's add a shape. I've got lines here. Let's do some lines here, because I've got lines here, no lines here. I mean, I've got lines, you know what I mean, but kind of the straight ones. And let's add some, oh, we've got straight ones down there. Okay, so let's add some lines here. Let's bring that deep blue in. That's going to show up nice. And let's sharpen it, because I want this to somewhat show up, but I don't want it to be like, oh, bang, there it is. Yeah. But the white, why did I add white? I added white because the border is white. And so you have the option of doing a tight frame, which is what you're kind of seeing here, or you have the option of adding a little bit of a white around to do that. So I like leaving a white edge. That's me. Again, that's something I found out that I liked. And you're going to find that out too. Again, it's not that you like the white border, but you're going to find out that what works for you. Oh, these are really close here. So I'm just going to do this one close as well. And I'm going to do another one that's a little farther apart, because that's the way the other one was. You want to have, when you're doing lines, you want to have a variation. The reason why I didn't end it there, right, this one, is because, see, this line is here. So I added another line to go below it, so things weren't so matchy-matchy. All right. Make sure you close your acrylic ink, because it is ink. Don't want to dry it out. With your brush, put it immediately in water if you can't get to it right away, because it's acrylic. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's do the unmasking. This is my favorite part, actually. I've got tape tucked under everywhere, I tell you. Yeah. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, I've got two, I get it. I got two tapes there that are, one's going one way, one's going another. So let's put this in the right. My camera's kind of crooked right now. I had to stop because, you know, good old batteries. They're wonderful, but they kind of decide, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore. Okay. So, which is the one that was on top? I guess this one. We did this one. It's, which ones did I take off first? Oh, that really bled there, didn't it? And then, is this one on top? Yes, this one's on top. There we go. Look at that. Crisp lines. Oh, my goodness. This is underneath. That's underneath. This is on top. Wow. Oh my gosh. I really, colors are so cool. I mean, they really work together. So now I know I want to combine, if I want those lovely purples and kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's really quite neat. It's Prussian blue, okay, with the quinacridone violet and quinacridone or cridone magenta. Oh, wow. Which, and then what's beautiful about these, you can figure out which way you want them. So you can frame them different ways. You can frame them together. You could frame them, these two, and then these two. You could frame these two, like so up and down like this, or these two. You could frame them each individually. So lots of options to play with these. Depending on which way you're going to be presenting them, you sign bottom right-hand corner. So if, say this one, I wanted it to show this way, I would sign bottom right-hand corner. So let's have a closer look at all of them. So there's that one. I'm pleased with them. I think I would have, another option was to add another color into it, right? Because basically we have two colors. This is very much an analogous color theory or way, because I'm using on the same side of the color wheel. So introduce another color would just add that extra pop. So my pop came from using the white, right? But yeah, things to think about, possibilities. I mean, it is endless, but it's a lot of fun. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Well, there we go. We're done. Now, when I first started this one, I was uncertain because I was uncertain about some of the colors because it's not a normal color palette that I use, actually. So I was a little, well, you know how you get a little apprehensive and starting something new. You're not too sure what to expect, but you're going to try it anyways. And I think, and I believe actually, not just think, I believe that that is one of the most important attitudes to have as an artist. To say, okay, let's see how this goes. Let's try it out. You never know unless you try. And that is the beauty of when you see a child playing in the mud, making mud pies. They are so engrossed in what they're doing and just seeing how things kind of work together that they're not really attached to the end result. I mean, they're going to put it in those tins. At least I did, those muffin tins. But it was the process. It was the playing that was important. And with the playing comes discoveries. You find out how things work. And the same thing applies to art. Be willing to try new things because you never know. You might find something new you like. For example, you might not have ever known to think of applying pencil crayons to your watercolors after your watercolor section has been done. But you can. And so I encourage you, if you haven't, try that out. Because I find, you can really make a difference to a piece of artwork. And again, you never know unless you try. So I wish you a wonderful week. Here's to love. Hopefully you have hope and peace in your life. And please, 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 please go out and play. You'll thank yourself for it after. So have a wonderful week. Love you. Bye-bye.